Hello, my name is Cami Wynn, and this is for my Week 7 lesson plan on word relationships. This will be for grade 2 and above, and I hope you enjoy. So let's get started here. For this lesson, students will have the ability to acquire in-depth understanding of word meanings. This should be about 20 minutes long if you were to actually do it, maybe. And let's see here. You would have a word map that is provided, and you would also give copies of the book Passage Alaska Adventure to your kids. You want to make sure to tell kids that creating a word map explains new words to them, and other words that they already know. So, for example, you would say to the kids out of the book or passage that they have, for her to say, "My mom is not going to believe how awesome the scenery is." In other words, Jack thinks the scenery in Alaska is very impressive. And then when you would have students say, "What awesome scenery," in the way that Jack would have said it. And then you tell students, awesome is a word that can mean very impressive or very cool. And then you ask the students when they may have used the word awesome before in their life. So you would ask them, how and when have you used the word awesome? And of course, their responses will depend on their experiences. And then you need to ask them, what are some examples of how you would use the word awesome? And then, of course, again, students would respond in different answers. All right. So then on the board, you would print a target word, awesome, on the board and say the following. According to Jack, an example of something that is awesome is the scenery in Alaska. Print scenery in Alaska in an example box on the map. So it's a box, it's like a graphic organizer. So you would have awesome in the center, and then there's small little pieces that trail off of the word awesome to help kids remember what awesome means. And then you would say impressive is a word that means almost the same as awesome. Impressive could be used in the place of the word awesome. So you would also put impressive in the synonym box on the map. So you're going to have synonyms and antonyms so kids understand similar words and also some words that aren't the same. Excuse me. So, and then after they understand what a synonym is, it's important for them to know what that means. Next, you would pick the word ordinary. So you would say, ordinary is a word that means the opposite of awesome. So then you would write ordinary in the antonym box of the map and explain to them what and why it's an antonym. Right. So you students should have a word map pretty well filled up from this example. And you're going to use the same activity to explore examples and non-examples of the word awesome. So then if the things or situations described are examples of something awesome, you say, wow. If not, don't say anything. So this is an example of what students are supposed to say. So I would say, a new pair of high-tech running shoes. Is that awesome or not awesome? So they would say, wow, or don't say anything. And then you would go to cleaning your room, meeting the President of the United States, an old pair of slippers, or a colorful rainbow. Find something that your students would find awesome, because not every kid finds the same thing as awesome. And this would give you also a sense of whether they understand the vocabulary word. And then they're going to start with a new word map for the word awesome. So a colorful rainbow would be awesome. So then you would put colorful rainbow in the box for the word awesome. And then you're going to ask, what is the opposite of a colorful rainbow? And students can say anything from a dull sky to a gray rainbow, something along those lines. And then you're going to put those in the non-examples of what that would be. And then the word impressive almost has the same meaning as the word awesome. And then you're going to ask what other words also mean the same as awesome. And students will give examples such as amazing, cool, things like that. And then you would put them in the synonym box. And then you would ask them, the word ordinary is a word that means the opposite of awesome. So in other words, what is the opposite of awesome? And they'll give you words like dull, boring, things like that. And then you would put that in the antonym box. Alright, and so next you would have students create their own word maps, which is what we've been working on. For example, students could complete the word map for the words enticing, adventure, or interior from the Alaska Adventures passage. Or they can choose the words from other books or stories that they have done. Invite volunteers to discuss the target words that I've chosen. And identify synonyms and antonyms and show the examples and non-examples. And have them write sentences using the words of the map. If students were still unclear about the difference between a synonym and antonym, you could say the following. So if they say that one word is not correct, so they could say that awesome is a synonym for dull. Okay, you would say this word is an antonym. Antonym means the opposite of the words. And then you would ask, is this a synonym or an antonym? And through that, hopefully the student will be able to pick it out for error correction. For the instructional considerations, my students would, for ELL students, would have a deck of cards with words on them, and they would have to decide whether it's an antonym or a synonym, placing it in the right pile. So students would have to sort through the following words, such as little, big, cold, chilly, home, school. Different cards have different words with little slashes. They have to decide if they are synonyms and antonyms, or if they are both synonyms of each other. For special education, I would have my special education students play a game that I found. It's a link on the screen here. Basically, the game takes place in a pond, and the student is trying to catch the synonym and antonyms of words that are flies, and the student is a frog who's trying to eat the flies. This helps identify. You can also pick how fast you want the level to go, and also if you want specifically synonyms, specifically antonyms, and it can even move up further. So that really helps identify if there's a student that doesn't quite understand what synonyms are. It'll help them with that as well. And then for talented and gifted, I would have them come up with their own relationships, word relationships, and have them draw pictures of those word relationships. So it's very similar to the word map that we had up above, but it also brings in their creative side of what words they can think of without prompting. So that is my lesson. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.